question that'll put us solidly after.
Yes,
the
yes,
circle.
we won't have that.
Hello, I've got agendas and it's here. Swoosh them down.
All right. And Marilyn has just said that she needs to scoot at 8:30 for a doctor's appointment, so. Um,
And Laura Arnold's gonna be a little late.
and Laura's running late. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this, so anything we actually need to vote on, we can vote on while we still have a quorum. But I don't know that we need to vote on any. We need to vote on.
I mean, I don't know if the time change requires a vote, but, or just a consensus.
Oh, did you just send me a message?
I did just, yeah, because I thought I saw your car up front.
Yeah, but we couldn't get in.
Right. I started to go around and then he assured me that 8 o'clock.
Well, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I did, I walked around and ran into a police officer who helped me get into the building, so, which was lovely of her. She did that. So, all right, so here we are. We're gonna go ahead and roll and see how far we get. Jen, are you okay? Roll call, or you got this covered? You're doing our minutes for us?
I will do the minutes, yes.
Okay.
So I guess just let me know who is not here and I'll mark them down. I know Lauren is not.
Yeah, so John's here, Marilyn's here, I'm here, Beth is not here, Alex is not here, Rob is not here, and Jan is not here.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a convenient little roll call chart on
On the minutes. So there you go. Oh, yeah, I guess I'll take that.
and it does apparently include arrive late, so I guess
Okay.
people show up.
Late, we will mark them down. Okay, it's the day after the 4th. So I
Yeah,
guess we're going to.
I know, I was worried about this when I realized we would be the morning after the 4th.
Yes.
Okay, has everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes?
Well,
Yes, they were lovely. I did have one question. This is not a correction. This is just because we're all new at this and I just need to know what we're doing. It said in here that the city will be funding the restrooms for the piano concert.
Yes, Jen Conrad did tell me that.
Okay.
So that's something that comes and she even gave me
So-
the budget number for that. So,
How does that work
yeah, physically, when the guy
physically?
drops it off and I call the porta potty company and they say, who do we bill this to? How do I do? What do I say?
I just built to Jennifer Starkey at City Hall.
Okay,
And then when I get that bill, I'll know which
So-
budget number to.
And
put
just give them the address of City Hall?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would think so.
and you're gonna handle reserving it.
Yeah,
Okay, that was, I just wanted to make sure we were all
No.
on the same page on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so any other comments about the minutes? Are there suggestions, corrections? Do I have a motion to approve?
I so move.
Marilyn, a second, Judy, those in favor, aye. Anybody opposed? All right, cool.
Should we talk about the time change before Marilyn?
That's actually not a bad idea, yeah. Do you want to bump the time change? up
Yeah, I
on
can
the
chat,
discussion?
just if we wanted to address the time change. So, hi, everybody, I'm happy to take over as the staff liaison. And I'm happy to keep meeting on Tuesdays. My issue is always on Tuesdays, I have to drop off my kids to school. So I believe that I'm usually done and good and here by 8:15 in the morning, but that makes it difficult for drop off. So I wasn't sure if we wanted to keep the meetings on the same Tuesday of every month, but do it at 8:30, if that would work for folks, or if that's something that cuts too much into work schedules. It's just,
I'm okay.
Right, right.
I'm okay.
For me, I prefer the 8 o'clock time,
Mhm.
but I'm not wedded to a day of the week.
okay, okay.
The one issue that we have run into when we try to change is the location, because other groups. meet
Yes,
here,
like I know
so
when we get
don't
into
know.
Thursdays, like we have the business commissions that tend to meet on Thursdays. Fridays, I don't believe anybody meets in the morning. It's usually Thursdays, I know, because it's all of the Old Orchard, Old Webster, Business Development, and then Crossroads tends to meet on Thursdays at 8.
Well, I mean, I might be a minority if everybody else is fine with the.
I'm fine with 8:30.
I myself can't do Fridays, but I'm
Okay.
fine with 8:30 or switching to a different day. If we can do it Wednesday instead.
I drop them off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, so yeah.
So I think it makes sense to stick with, I know it's often been hard, so Tuesdays at 8:30.
But would you still be able to come just like?
Yeah, it just
Leave
makes it a
early, I
little
mean,
harder.
come later,
for meetings.
leave earlier.
And is this space available then?
Yeah, because it'll be
8:30
the
to-
same time, yeah, because we usually reserve the space from like 8:30 till 9:30 or 8 to 9:30. Okay, so I'll just make sure that we bump an extra 30 minutes.
So when is it, on Wednesday then?
So it's.
Oh, Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
just
Oh, it's still on Tuesday.
Tuesdays, yeah.
So at 8:30.
I'm sorry, I thought that ran into conflicts.
Only if it stays at 8. If it moves to 8:30, she has enough time to do what she has to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next meeting would be August the 2nd.
Yes, and I'll have to look into that when I am out of town that week. That's my vacation week. I planned before I knew I was
Right.
doing the.
Take it
Yes.
Well, if you're gonna be on
Morning.
vacation that week, we could still have it at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it would just be a matter of someone else,
Good
morning. I just
You
appear.
were there.
I just appear. That's my superpower.
only get it once you become mayor. and then it's- He was a hog.
No, I apologize for my tardiness, so.
Hardly qualifies to start this.
So 8:30 AM on Tuesday, starting in September. August, we could still do 8 AM because I believe I'll have to have Jen Conrad or Eric open up the room for everybody. That day.
Unless they, trust me enough to do it.
Unless they trust you enough to do it, that's right.
We'll see, we'll
Have
see.
they issued you a set of keys yet?
I do have keys, yes, I do have keys. The question is, do they trust me enough to get this whole thing going?
This whole thing.
You
Yeah,
might
that-
not
that's,
want to do
right.
that.
Exactly, there may be a strategy in not knowing.
Well,
that.
that-
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Okay. All right, well, we'll go with that.
So August 2nd, we're meeting still at 8.
Yeah, August 2nd will still be at 8, and then
September.
starting in September, we'll meet at 8:30.
We do, there are 5 of us because we've Marilyn and Don. I know, but
Not that I really care.
that was why we were glad that you guys showed up because for a little while it was just.
No,
gonna
we
be
were
the
just
three
locked
of
out
us.
and I finally realized.
Looking at the foam in the shower and the fountain.
Yeah, yes, what is that about?
Some kids, I think, soaked it.
That is so
But it's
cute.
making these
It's never been
odd
done
voices.
before.
Charming little Dominican.
Wait, so you already have number 6 on the agenda?
We jumped ahead.
Oh, it's like, wow, this is such an
We
efficient.
jumped,
group.
Marilyn has to leave early, so we
Okay,
figured out,
gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
anything that requires quorum we'll do now, so.
You see what you miss? We pop
Yes.
in.
Yeah, I mean, talk about efficient.
Yes, we really just approved the minutes and that was it.
It's free. Okay, so quick update on the Burr Oak Roots, which is, I guess, what, Friday a week, the 15th? It's coming along. If anybody has any time or inclination that they would like to do some postering or carry some postcards around in the downtown area, Margot and Walter have put together a lovely, lovely poster. I mean, they do amazing graphics for these things. And my guess is there will also be opportunities for people to come and help out on the 15th with setup. And it seems like we had, I hesitate to use the word ushers, but several of us stood in the street to sort of help direct
Right,
folks in.
And the theory, we were also planning on having people to assist getting to restrooms, although
Yeah,
it didn't seem to be. much needed.
yeah. Well, that's true because they do have to kind of walk around. We do have to get touch base with Scott Davis about a couple of things in relation to this, but he was out of town for the past week, so. we'll be talking to him.
He is back now.
He's back now, so I will have to touch base with him about restrooms. But otherwise, we have all the permits. I think we're good to go.
Right, we can have any signage up there from Arts Commission.
We certainly can if we want it.
What else should we do?
Our logo is on all the posters, Patrick, if you'd like to hang a few of those
Okay,
posters.
sure.
We didn't take the logo last time, did we? For the
Don't know that we had any place to put one really. did we?
Well, they had the table where you could get some
We had some,
things to eat,
something
wasn't there?
up at the top of the hill
Yeah.
where that path cuts into the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Where are the posters now physically?
So the posters for the event, the parks have, because they,
Where are the ones that you would like us to pass out?
so that, yes, that,
So we need to get them.
yes, yes.
So.
So,
we're trying to-
Okay.
yes, so to your point, I will maybe just send out an email.
Yeah, I'll
and
take a
I
few down to like Gold Rush.
apologize, that probably breaks some
I'd be happy,
rule
be happy.
if
to-
I send out an email.
It
You
does not.
didn't-
All
you
you,
didn't
all you have to
hear-
do is put
Yeah.
Katie Nakazano on the email. That's all,
Okay.
and then it doesn't break any rules.
Oh, okay, that's easy enough. And I will include the parks on that and they can like arrange, pick out the posters and like where.
Okay,
So they're posters and little cards,
And
right?
postcards.
Little cards like you put indoors or
Yeah.
people's houses.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think probably put little stacks at cash registers more like.
Okay.
so people
yeah,
can-
I'll take some.
Yeah, so
So I will be hearing from,
I will be sending
Okay.
an email out and including Kate.
Perfect.
okay,
And everybody mark your calendars for the 15th and hope that it's not 147 degrees.
and I'm
Or
sorry, I
pouring.
just, quick, what is this rule that you are afraid to break? Because it sounds like
It's the
something that I will
Because we
probably.
have to be transparent. in
Yes.
everything we do.
So does that mean what does that mean we can't do, send emails to each other?
So if you send emails to a quorum asking for some sort of policy decision making, that violates the rule.
But if I have a
It's just
question and I have an
informational.
idea and I want to send it to Katie and go, hey, what do you think about it?
You can send it to fewer than a quorum anytime you want to, and not worry. If
Okay.
it's informational and you want to send it to everybody, all you have to do is copy the city clerk.
Okay, great, that's good to know.
Yeah, well, and yeah, that's the thing, is we
Yeah.
just don't want to get in trouble.
Well, how much trouble would
Somehow
you get in? Would you-
I'm not too worried about this commission getting in lots of trouble. I mean,
Yeah. But a lot of the work does get done behind the scenes, just conversations and phone calls and emails. Okay,
Right.
But is
That's
it
just okay.
the full group or it's a quorum?
It's a
Yeah.
quorum.
So for us, it's up to 4 people.
Yeah, exactly.
At 5 and more, that's,
Is John willing?
so send 2 emails.
Just always copy Katie and you can never go wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Patrick. Otherwise, it's in the stocks down there at.
Let's just call it an
You're
art
alone at
installation.
Nampa, yeah.
it's a performance piece.
Yeah. I can do stocks. Okay,
All right, so moving on from there.
okay.
To the Lifetime Achievement in the Arts. Award.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to make, this is October, and I talked to both of the guys and they're very excited.
Look at this.
We
We're
did get the
good.
room,
October 14th.
Friday, October 14th, rec center.
Okay, I want to ask this delicately, is the rec center gonna be in shape in October? Is it like things stable enough over there to?
It will be.
Okay,
Yeah.
What are
Okay.
you referring to?
well, I just heard things were a little chaotic over there and
Well, that's good.
I wanted to, we could just as easily do it here if we decide not to do the rec center. The city hall gatherings were also very nice. But if we're pretty sure that things are cool there
Yeah,
and,
I mean, it's open and it's reserved, so it's ours to use. Mickey and I will probably be doing the bulk of the setup, I would imagine.
well, then why don't we, great,
Yeah.
let's move ahead and do that then. Okay, for what date is that?
October
October
14th, Friday. Is that what we had asked? That's
No,
right.
that's the one date we can't do it. That's
Oh, okay.
trivia night for Webster Arts and nobody will be there.
No problem.
So
Then what
the
was
the dates
date?
that we had talked about at our last meeting were the 21st or the 28th. Those are the 2 dates that I gave to Joe and Dan.
Okay,
They are open both dates, but they want to know.
which one? I
Really
will
quick.
go
Keep it
back
open.
and I will check with Mickey about that. I listened to the recording and I thought that was the date, but no problem. I'll go back
Okay.
and I'll check with her.
So if we could just nail down either the 21st or the 28th, then
Do we have a preference as to which
I
one?
don't think so.
Okay, so whichever one, and if both of those are filled, then here. I'll look into here, because it sounds like you're not opposed to doing it here.
No,
Okay.
I mean, I don't speak for the entire committee, but I mean, City Hall's nice, it's homey, it's,
I mean, I think after we did it once
Mhm.
at the rec center, we all loved it. I think
Yeah.
there was a very positive response, but it didn't mean we didn't
like it here. Okay.
We just preferred.
So that's
it.
fine.
yeah, I mean, it's just that, like the party functions at many different levels and
Yeah.
corridors. which is kind of cool in a way. So-
Yeah, and I know here's fine as long as the elevator's working. That's always.
Right, that's the key.
always
But I
the
would
key.
say, let's make this our first,
Okay.
our first choice, probably
No
one of
problem.
those dates is okay, and everybody did like it a lot.
Okay,
Fine.
cool. Then I will check into that today and I'll have that
And then
information.
we have probably a lot of other things to decide, like food and
well, I'm just thinking there's the whole, we'll have to put together a program.
Right.
what's October, so.
Organize the food.
do
Yeah,
we-
we've often tried to do a little slightly themed food. if
Laura,
we
how
can.
are your sandwich making skills?
Very good, actually. I'll be on it.
Jerry and I always make sandwiches together.
I,
always in the
you can
past.
count on me.
Excellent.
And actually, more importantly, I follow directions really well.
Yeah, now, do we give them something? We give them something, a plaque or something, don't we?
Some sort of a
Started that.
proclamation or
Didn't we
something,
start a
didn't
plaque
Yeah, we have
last time?
definitely can do a proclamation. That's
Yeah,
easy.
and like
I've
for, and I know for
done-
like the tree folks, when they do the tree of distinction, like they send me the copy and I made like a nice certificate-y sort of thing, and then we framed it.
Okay.
and I gave
So,
it to them, so
um,
I'm happy to do that.
we don't really have a budget for this, do we?
About $800.
I thought we had like $500.
$500, and we have that money.
I didn't bring my budget with me, but you had me check last time and you will have yes, you have at least that much money.
It's not, and the rec center costs nothing, right?
Right.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so mostly it's sandwiches and a couple of plaques
And
and
the wine,
so.
because
Yeah.
unless we have wine and beer stashed somewhere from some other event.
we don't, we had some left over and we used it for, I think after when the new council.
Yeah,
And
and
the
Jerry's send
Jerry's,
off.
yeah, we used it up for that. I think we've, yeah.
Well, that can get expensive.
Yeah, it can also come from Trader Joe's.
Yeah, get a Sam's card.
Okay,
You got a Sam's card.
okay, wonderful. So, yeah, as soon as I get the word on the
The
best
date.
date, I'll
Okay, no
let Joe
problem,
and
and
Dan
I'll
know, and they're excited.
Iron
and,
that out today.
I
Yeah,
wonder if there's a way we can put together a playlist of bands
That's a
that
good
we
idea.
could have quietly in the background.
Maybe the rest of his group.
Or something,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's really easy to
Dan's bands,
pump music in through there. I'm sure it is also in the rec center as well.
Oh, Brian Ward works with them. He does all their.
they
music.
were the headliners at the Kirkwood fireworks thing yesterday.
Yeah.
Rosewood is big time. We might not be moved forward. Except,
We're not asking them to play, we're
I
just
was
giving out
gonna-
awards.
unfortunately,
We're gonna go
Dan is the
royalty-free.
lead guitar and singer, but
Yeah.
you know, I mean, if you're serious about getting some music, we can start like, kind of like. into
Well,
that.
I was thinking on a recording. I mean, I was thinking.
Oh,
you know,
oh.
Like to have just playing in the background
It'll be easy to do.
for the event.
Mhm.
And we'll need to think about a program. Who will speak?
And I'm happy to, well, I know we've got a lot of, this is one of the commissions, we've got a lot of designer talent on that, but I'm happy to lay it out too, if we need to do that.
And we
Make some
need them
copies.
to provide a list of people that
Mhm.
and we'll send out invitations. As in the
And
past.
I was gonna say, we'll need to design an invitation.
Who did that?
Well, Tracy Driscoll has done them often. John might do. one.
I've done them.
John's done
Mhm.
them, yeah.
Cool.
I'll be glad to
Because
do it.
It seems like we send them to the people that they specifically want to invite and then the commissioners.
I think
council
they gave us,
members.
I don't remember, but didn't they supply, us with
Yeah.
a list and then we
Yes.
put it together?
I'll get those lists from the two of them. And then
I
bring
think
it to,
I think I did one for Ed Bocha, I think. I have one in my files. I could just make it that size, you
Sure.
know. and we
Well,
would-
didn't we use a photo or ask them, right?
Mhm.
But do
Oh,
we have
yeah,
policy
any-
inviting past awardees? Would sort of be nice to.
We do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we do, but I agree with you that we should.
we should, yeah.
And, you know, friends of the commission
Mhm.
and the council members and.
Well, that we've got from now till October, and a lot of this can be done offline and we kind of
Mhm.
know the drill, so.
So John, are you okay with designing something?
Oh, yeah, no problem. Like
Thank
I
you.
said, I have the Ed Bocha one with all of that wording, other than his name, of course.
Yeah, we want to change the name.
And the date, you might want to change the
Yeah,
date.
Yeah.
That would be a big typo, I know.
But it would save a lot of
Make that
time.
I could make that adjustment and just, you could all look at it and see if you want to word it. different.
Okay, thank you.
I'll change the dates too, Patrick.
And if you'd like, I can just take a photo of the two of them with, looking like buddies,
sure.
and we can use that.
That's good.
That'd be nice,
So
yeah.
you- I mean, I would volunteer to help with the program, but I have no idea how to move on this program, who they would want to speak or anything.
I'll talk to them and ask them. I think usually each one of them has about 3 people, and we're really pretty, like, make it short, like 3 minutes.
Well, maybe we want to ask them to come up with 3 together.
I would think 3 together.
Well, that would be
nice.
1.5 a piece.
Well, if they
How
do
about 4?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Let's not split somebody right in half.
And half a person.
Great
could-
compromise.
A single person that both of them would.
I was
yeah.
thinking maybe
okay, if we want 3, no more than 4, I'll make sure that they're.
I'm sorry, but who's getting it again?
Joe, is it Rath and Dan Warner.
Oh, okay, great.
20 years of the Jazz Fest. They're both
Yeah.
kind of backing off from that. And they both do lots of other things as well. So,
So
Well, they-
John, make a design that relates to music and not necessarily the 2 guys.
We could even do the jazz piece,
Mhm.
you know, the Catherine
After
Markle's
hours.
piece. Yeah. that would be
actually, that would be the best soundtrack, probably jazz and blues.
Well, that's what I was,
Yeah.
where I was going. It
Yeah.
was not their band, but.
I've even got
Jazz
some
was
old
played at the-
T-shirts of the jazz festivals. Some
Oh.
really neat designs, and maybe we can take something off of that.
We'll also get some posters, and like we do, we put them on easels around the place, and it's gonna be easy.
Actually, Carolyn, we can all model the T-shirts from previous years.
We can hang them up on hangers and use.
Hang them on hanger or just wear them. Or you can make a tutu out of them. That would
Yeah,
be.
right.
That would be cool though, to have some live, it'd be cool to have some live jazz out in the front.
Oh,
Sorry, we're loud, I forgot.
Remember, it's just after the Jazz Festival, so you don't want to make it look too much like that, like it'll look like something just left over from the Jazz Festival,
That's why it should be kind of on the abstract side of it, a real neat design. Because then they both will relate to the music.
Well, we'll promote this at the Jazz Festival too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need
10,000 people there.
That
I
would be
like the
nice.
idea of having their photos somewhere in at least the invitations though.
They usually do, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like.
We at the next meeting, I'll have them stand out in front of TJ Muggs and, looking like buddies, and I'll take their picture.
Yeah, tell them to
that's-
pretend they like each other for just
Yeah, one of those pictures.
30 seconds.
Yeah, we can do that.
Give them each a musical instrument.
There you go.
There you
The wrong musical.
That would probably be
instrument.
better than photos of arguing over the budget.
See who can tell.
Yeah, okay,
An action shot.
okay, we can do this, all right.
All right. So anything else for now about the lifetime achievement? Shall we go?
Now, let me-
So should we wait to hear from Jenny
Yes.
what date she's?
I
able to
will
secure?
figure that out today. I'll chat with Mickey.
Thank you,
And as soon as I get that ironed out, I'll email everybody.
pass it on
CC
to
Katie.
Perfect.
and it's, yeah,
Yes, and make sure we're.
okay.
All right. So moving on then to the summer concert, the piano concert from the Sonic Lodge.
This is a collaboration between us and Webster Arts, because Webster Arts has this element where we're gonna put pianos up. I need to ask Jenny how that's going.
Mhm.
We've got porta potties now, that's nice. I need, now that the holiday is over, to talk to Michael. He was in Europe, Michael Silverman. He's lining up the acts, and he sounds very confident that we're gonna have a bunch of really good. It sounds like he's like bringing in half of Los Angeles.
He always.
I mean, he
does.
does,
He
yeah,
does.
right, should we doubt?
I know, I mean, it's gonna be fine. Do we need a permit for that?
I think if it's in the Masonic Lodge, that's.
Okay,
Private property,
It's
but
private.
Yeah.
you know what? We can check.
Yeah,
and in the
Yeah.
past,
That's a very good point.
we got trash bags, and where did we get the trash?
We did get trash cans from somewhere.
I
City?
think that's what I'm thinking. It it might be good to have a special activities permit
Because then you can ask.
for
for
those
trash.
requests.
We could do some trash cans. very little
Security.
trash.
Yeah, it was really.
But it's at the end of the evening. But there was very little trash because we had trash cans. And everybody was really good about it. But a special permit, how do we do that?
It's the special activities permit. I'll email Eric today and find out if you need it for this, or if Webster Arts is already, it might be that Jenny or somebody from there has already turned it in.
Probably not.
Probably
not.
He's just doing the piano piece.
Yeah.
But it's also, we have in the past closed this parking lot to be
Mhm.
handicapped and performer. So we need the
Barricades, yeah.
barricade
And all of
situation.
those requests come in the special activities.
Yeah.
There's a place for
So we
barricades, a
probably
place
do
for trash cans.
Do you want to do the
Yeah.
permit or should I do the permit? I've never done a permit before, but
I mean, I can do it.
do it together.
Let's do it together.
Let's do it together. That'd be fun.
I'll talk to Eric about that, and
I'll
then I'll send it to you. It's on our
It's not
website.
Okay, so otherwise, this is a really easy, fun
Mhm.
event.
And the date again on that?
August 27th.
27th.
And I think it's eight. no, What times did we say it was?
So I think people start gathering around 6 and the performance starts at 7 or 7.
Like 6 to 9, I think.
Something like that, yeah. And they wrap up 9:30.
Yeah,
Are gone before 10, so.
yeah, people really like that event.
And the Masons have expanded their menu this year. They're like, it's gonna be like a 3-course meal.
Nice. Well, it's good for them too, because
Snow cones.
they were in it for getting their kind of spooky facility way back with the big yard into the mainstream life of
Yeah.
Webster, which they really, really like. And it turns out to be a little moneymaker for them and the
Yeah.
team lays
Yeah,
and the
awesome.
little youth groups, but they just love being a part of the community. They want to, I mean, it just makes so much sense. They're right next to City Hall. It's a really nice, beautiful building. I mean, it could be one of Webster Grove's front yards.
It made a really perfect setting.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Rob
that's-
has apparently joined us.
Oh.
And Marilyn, I'm sorry, did you need to go? Are you okay still?
I'm just about ready to go, so I think I'll.
Good. Good to see you, Marilyn.
Good to
Wow.
see you.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Doctor.
So good. I think that's about all we need to talk about there.
Okay, very cool. So the next item on here is about the signage for the Sculpture Park, which obviously we've been around and around and around about this for quite some time, so.
I think this might be it. Let me see. That was the other thing. Okay. I opened up all my windows. They're all a bunch of forms. It's hard to see. Here we go.
Ah.
It's the company that makes the signs.
I believe so.
And graphics. Yeah.
There it is, yeah.
So I spoke to him and stuff went up because of the supply expenses. And on the addition of the QR code, it was not a problem. And he suggested that they would print these like a clear plastic, a clear vinyl tag label, which we would put on there. He said it would work real good. And then if that code would get scratched or something, you can easily replace it. So I thought that was a good idea. In other words, if it was etched into there or silk screen, if it was scratched, it would be
Right.
ruined.
Hard.
So this way, and the only thing I thought afterwards, we could just ask for an extra one of those and put them in a file and be ready in case they did get scratched. And
So
although we would be creating that, so you'd have a file someplace that you could always print one out, but it wouldn't be printed on that same, more heavy material like they're going to do it on. So anyway, it went up, a couple of $1,000s, I guess.
Right,
Mhm.
right, yeah.
Nothing ever gets cheaper. It never goes down,
So how much do we have? Budget for it?
That's a good question.
So I believe this was covered in last year's
It was last
budget,
year.
right? So,
And I
For
think
the lower amount.
Yeah, it was about 49 or something last time.
I thought it
We
was somewhere.
had something like five.
Yeah, right at 5.
So I do have a question. The 11 of them, is that to get some sort of a bulk discount or?
No, we were counting, casually what we had, the number that we would have. So, I mean, again, if you would go maybe one less, but you might, you would just probably get one off. But as you went down, then each unit would probably be more expensive.
I think we did the rec center as well. for
Well, do we have a
Brother
firm
Mel's,
count of how
but-
many we actually
See, this is
need?
what I'm trying to think if we would still be adding up to 11.
Well, we could simply limit the initial one to the sculpture park and reduce our costs that way and then
Yeah.
in the future. I mean, it'd be nice to have them, but we could get them done exactly the same, so time doesn't matter. But yeah.
I mean, at the time we got the prices, we clicked off the number that we thought we would need. So it wasn't, the 11 was not based on that there's a
Right.
price break at 11.
I think they're like 7 in the existing in the sculpture park, and then there's the one empty. We hope someday to fill. Spot.
And you've got the Rabbit, and you've got the Jazz, and you've got
And then the Brother Mel piece.
Brother Mel's.
Well, now the jazz piece, though, Webster University has put their own signage out before, haven't they? I mean, that's their property,
Oh, okay.
somebody.
Well, we
jumped
didn't even
in.
have that up in this.
I don't think that's us.
well, we pay insurance on that.
Yeah,
Oh, do we?
I
We
think
do.
they, agreed to have our statue on their property.
They did put the
Or
benches
should
in,
they? Yeah,
but
they
I
did.
can't remember if there's any signage with those
Can't remember.
benches at all.
But I think.
And if it's part of our collection, we probably should signage, so we, put on it what we want to put on it, as opposed to a Webster logo.
I mean. Okay, and then the sign bolts to concrete footing provided by in graphics, is that,
It's on, if you go back to that original drawing, which I didn't resend, it shows that it's a bolt that goes into a ground, into a piece of concrete.
so I guess my question is, does that bolt into the concrete that's already there? Are they still charging us an additional 1,700?
I think each one has a piece of concrete that holds it in, so you
Yeah,
can
I
put it
can't
wherever
believe-
you want, right?
Well, I guess what I'm questioning is, what is that 1,700 for?
I don't think it includes.
That's for the installation of the sign bolts to the concrete footing. Everything's gonna be provided by them, it looks to me.
But they're not doing new concrete footings, they're assuming the existing ones, correct?
I think that each little post has a piece of concrete that holds it in there.
Right,
I
current.
don't, you wouldn't put it in on the concrete, that's holding the sculpture. It
It's
would have
separate.
its own little block of concrete that this thing sits on. So that's
So are
the,
they're actually doing the installation then for that 1,700? I mean, those little separate blocks that you're talking about are already in place because they've already got signage that's been chewed up by weed whackers. Can they just bolt into the existing one and would that save us some money, or is that?
I don't know about that.
They probably have to look at it and see.
If you're getting rid of that,
They're gonna charge us an extra 2,000 to yank the old piece of concrete out.
What the new is.
Put the new one.
Well, they would just probably have to confirm that the new was compatible with the old.
well, if you have a concrete footing that's made, let's say for the existing piece of metal that's there, then, I think if you remove that, I don't know if that's held on bolts or if that's in the concrete, we'd have to check that out. I guess when this went through, this was just another item and they asked, and at that time we said, yeah, you do it, I would guess that we could just get everything from them and tell them we'll have our guys put it in.
Well, I mean, so I guess where that leaves us is suddenly this is an extra $2,500 to $3,000 more than we actually have in the
Yeah.
budget. So how do we?
Well, that might, like I say, that might be one way of chopping that in half by just saying, okay, just send us the material, the things, the signs made and the post, and then,
See if Public Works or
guys,
Parks
if you put it
install
in, and then you'd save that 1,700, I guess. I don't know if there'd be is
Makes a
there,
lot of sense. And then install it under next year's budget. But at least to get them in our hands.
I mean, we have our own, landscape workers install them. I mean, that'd be one way, and you'd save that 1,700.
Are Public Works
Yeah.
up to this? Can they?
I mean, if that's possible, I'm just saying, I don't know. Somebody has to put them in, and there's concrete involved, and then I guess the bolts on there.
Jenny, do you want to have a conversation
Yeah.
with Todd to see?
I'll talk to
This
Todd
is-
about it, cause I know like with the new sign that we just put at Barbary Park, that we, like Webster Groves did that installation of the sign, so it's something I think that they're
There's
able to do.
precedent.
Oh, I'm sure they could do, you know.
I'll
Well,
find
that
out
gets
what
us a lot closer to the budget.
I guess my only, I mean, because I can't parse out sign bolts to concrete footing provided, is that they are providing the bolts, the sign bolts?
Everything that you'd see there,
Provided by, or
9
is it-
volts to concrete footing,
Concrete footing provided by in graphics or
right, that's how I would read it. they're gonna-
which clause is subordinate to what? I'm lost in that.
Pardon?
Is it maybe that what that is it's an actual extra $1,700 for the bolts?
I don't.
No.
Looks like it's under installation, so. Go to the item.
John, are you up to going back and asking them about that and kind of just tell them that it went up and we don't have that in the budget?
Oh, sure.
If that is an optional piece there that we could have Parks and
No,
Recreation.
the optional part is, I guess, is so much, is a portion of this, the concrete, and a portion of this, the sign bolts. And the bar. So, you know, it could be that this price is the bolt and the bars and the concrete all installed. That's how it's reading, at least,
Yeah,
you know.
Probably half of that is labor.
well, that's, I'm
It
trying
doesn't
to.
seem enough if it includes all that. That's what my thought is.
But I mean, if they weren't gonna do the concrete, it would be written as, you know, bolted to existing concrete footing.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have the concrete, but I'll be glad to ask them. I think the thing would be, if we don't do that, do we still get all the sign bolts, you know, and the thing that holds them on, you know, holds everything except the concrete and the installation. As long as we have all the parts, then you could have, the Webster Groves crew install it, right?
Because I guess the other plan B on that, then, I mean, we really have a finite dollar value. And so we'll have to, I guess, reduce the number of
Well,
pieces
we
that
could
we
reduce the
do.
number of pieces.
in the
That is
first
certainly
wave.
an option.
Is it at all an option to go to them, knock out the 1,700 if we can and say, this is what we've got? We can do the project with this. It's the city, there's a budget. We can't do anything about it. Do it for this amount or don't do it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's always a ability. I'm saying, you know,
Should that
I
be
think,
alienated
Taking
our-
him next time I buy a car.
I know.
I think. I think
You do
that's-
it nicely with a smile and you sort of twist your toe in the dirt and.
I don't see a problem with that. I don't-
mean this or that. I mean, you do it like with an embarrassed smile and voicefully tousled hair.
I don't think that's a problem at all, except with the material involved.
Yeah,
Because I think the thing
In
is,
other words, they can't control that, so it'd be more like saying, we have $5,000, we'll do the installation, how many signs can we get?
right, see, That's kind of what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
because I'm guessing there's no stretch in that budget. I mean, we have the dollar value we have, and we have to work within it,
Yeah,
and we just have to figure out how.
And it could be that a lot of what they're gonna make out of it is in that project management amount.
Mhm.
You know,
Also,
other
we
than a
should
markup
find
on
out-
material.
Because
Yeah,
we had an amount earmarked. I don't think we put more in for,
But the amount that we had
Next year.
earmarked, we didn't move on.
Right, we haven't,
right,
So
so, but I
I mean,
think.
that's kind of our, you know, we could have, you know,
Yeah.
flipped the switch a year ago.
yeah, I'll do that with Eric and see, so you don't have to do everything on the list
Okay.
and see what the number is.
Okay,
And
because I
should be
know-
sitting there.
I always lose track of which budget we're in, but this would have come under the previous budget, but we then put in a request for next year's budget, but I don't think we had signage on
next.
the next budget.
But
Which
we
we're
don't,
now currently in.
Sure now. Right, so,
As
so we're earmarked from but I don't think we've accumulated more money this year for this
we
project.
didn't allocate it.
I don't
this year.
think we allocated.
Well,
As
the
for
only other
additional-
possibility is if there's some portion of the commission's budget last year that didn't get spent. So that's what, he'll be able to figure it
Well, we'll
out
figure
and
it
I'll
out.
get a
Shift it
number,
out.
yeah.
Oh, and we can do that? I thought. we
Well,
did-
as of this budget year, you cannot.
Oh, okay.
As of last budget year, that rule, I'm not sure was firmly in effect, so we'll see.
Wow, that would, well,
Yeah, well, so let's figure out if we can carve any off of this and then what number we actually have to work with and just figure out what we're gonna do about it.
So do you
So-
want me to find out if we can get rid of that 1720 and still have everything for our men to install it?
Yeah, I'll talk to Todd and find out if that's a possibility for the public
Yeah,
works
and-
folks to
Should
install.
I just wait to hear back from you before I get this guy involved again?
Because if you could let John know
Mhm.
yes or no, then he can go back and say, hey, what if we do the installation?
Okay, John, I'll let you know.
Okay, also in the files of the last year, there is drawings of this, if you need to share that with Scott.
Okay,
There are drawings of this sign and how it's installed in there. If you want me to resend that to you, I can.
if you wouldn't mind resending that, that would be great. I might have it, I've got a stack of files, I haven't looked through it, it's probably in there, but if I have it electronically, that would be useful.
Okay,
Cool.
that's been the most complicated.
Just sign it. Right out loud. Okay, so we will keep working on that project. So the other thing under miscellaneous here is the naming of the sculpture park, which I don't know if we have.
Yes, which must be done by ordinance. I did get to Katie about that, and we don't have really recent precedent for it. It's been a while since we've named anything for anyone, but it would have to go to council and be passed as a separate ordinance. If this commission would like to formally make that recommendation to council, then I think you need to vote on it and just send a letter to council saying we would like this to happen. And then council, it'll be put on the council agenda
Do
for
we have any thoughts
consideration.
on
Well, I imagine we're totally in favor of. So what we're talking about here is trying to name the sculpture park in honor of Jerry Welsh.
And part of that should be a recommendation of specifically what the name is, rather than the general idea that we
Right,
want to
yes,
name it
yeah.
after her.
sure. Well, yes, I mean, obviously, I'm not your verbiage person for the
Okay.
letter. I was just, Rob, are you with us?
Yes,
Okay, so we do technically have,
some reason my picture doesn't show up.
Well, when you share screen, it reduces the
well,
number
but
of.
he's great.
Yeah.
anyway.
We can hear you.
It's great.
we
Yeah.
just thought you were still in your PJs.
So-
Jenny,
I'm in my art studio.
My point being, we still have 5 of us, so if we need to make an official motion on this, if we feel like would we like to discuss, I guess you make the motion first and then we discuss? Yes, really rolling on Bob's rules here.
Yeah.
not Robert's.
That's okay. I'm learning all this too. so.
Yeah.
Jenny, could we take the,
Oh, do the
Did,
stop share.
thing?
So would someone like to make a motion and what would it officially, the official
Right.
name would be what the Jerry Welsh Sculpture Garden.
Go.
I move that we recommend.
But does she have a middle name or initial that she, or that would be my only. she could go by?
I don't think I've ever seen anything
Yeah,
used.
okay, yeah, all right,
Everything she signs officially does not have one.
yeah, okay.
Or is it gonna be Mayor Jerry Welch or just Jerry Welch?
We just
Sculpture
Jerry
garden.
Welch.
Jerry
I
will,
feel like just Jerry
Yeah, Jerry Welch. I would think just Jerry Welch.
yes, I agree.
Sculpture Garden.
I keep it simple, the Jerry Welch Sculpture Garden.
Okay.
All right.
All
Yeah,
right. So I guess,
so moved.
so Patrick has officially
Seconded.
moved, Judy has officially seconded. Is there discussion of that?
Does Jerry know we're talking about this, by the way?
No,
So we can always, I mean, is it okay if she knows about it? We can always call her up and go, this is what we did at the meeting today. Is that okay with you?
I kind of wanted it, well, I
Surprise?
don't know, to me, it seems like it should be done,
Well,
and then we tell her rather than.
That's
Show up
nice,
on her
yeah.
front porch with a
Yeah.
bunch of balloons.
well, let's
and
do
a
that.
giant
I
jacket,
can
right?
hardly imagine that she would be offended by it being called the Jerry Welch Sculpture Garden, you know, so.
Right,
Well, and once it goes to, you might want to just give her a heads up before it goes to.
Because then it will
council.
be public, because it'll be publicly on our
oh, so we
agenda.
should let her. know
Not that
before
she's
they-
necessarily paying attention, but somebody else may tell her.
Or she might,
I
she
think
might
we
have to join.
Enjoying her time.
I think let her drive by and see it on the sign, you know? Across the
Go
road,
off into the sculpture garden.
like down at St. Louis U, you know how
So
they do
this
the,
brings up a whole other thing that we now need a sign for the jury.
Oh my God.
oh boy.
Well, I think that if we named, like, there is an official signage that's done for
Oh,
each of the
okay.
parks,
Yeah.
so it would
Okay.
follow.
Yeah,
that.
and for this, I
We can
think,
come out of this budget.
I believe it would come out.
we probably want to go with neon anyway.
I'm thinking like St. Louis U has those arches that go over the road. you know?
Yes,
Oh,
we
right.
could, we could just put that neon strip on every street light.
Yeah.
Slew it. Okay, so I'm sorry, we have a motion moved and seconded and it's open on the table. I guess, do we want to go ahead and vote on that? All those in favor?
I,
Are there any opposed? Okay,
Wonderful.
so we have officially approved moving forward with this. We need to draft a letter, which maybe,
Do you want me to draft it and then send it to you?
would you do that?
Sure.
That would be awesome. Thank you. And maybe we can run it by
Sure.
other people and just make sure. And maybe we'll give Jerry a call and just let her know. where-
And at some point, maybe.
So,
we'll-
and we can wait, because it'll be, unfortunately, it will be a little while before it goes on the council agenda, because we don't have one of our 2 meetings in August and we're pretty booked.
Okay.
So it's probably, if I'm guessing, September at the earliest, and maybe even October.
Take us a while to.
Maybe we can have a little event in the fall, just a little.
Oh,
something.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, assuming it passes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
well.
yeah. Do you have
Well, and
any
it might-
sense, Laura? as
Of
to
whether it will pass or not,
Yeah.
I have not had a discussion, so I
Uh-huh.
have
Yeah,
no
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
I mean, I'll vote for it, so.
Sounds like
I
kind of
know,
a
right?
great idea.
It's, I would also imagine like. If it passes, and it passes, let's say in late October, or early November, it's gonna take a while to get,
So it could be a
Sign.
spring event.
yes. I would say let's not, if you're thinking in your head of what time of year an event would be.
No, I'm getting pretty good at whenever I think an event should be adding the next warm season.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it's like whenever
6
restaurants
months.
like opening in June, it's like, just say opening.
Yeah.
This year.
That's right.
It's always a good.
And I guess in response to the question about will the council vote for it, the only sort of hurdle I see is just the general notion in this last several years of naming things for people. This doesn't apply to Jerry, but historically you go back and then you wonder whether you should have named it for a person or not. And so is this going to lead to a discussion of our policy about naming things? And if it does, that's fine too. But that doesn't apply to Jerry, so I don't think that really should be a big deal, but
Well, in 20 years from now, they can always rename
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah. And
Tearing down the statue of Jerry Wells.
Rioters.
Maybe we could just rename one of those Trova pieces, you know. Like
Instead of
uh,
docs,
the
it can be
statue,
Jerry.
a modern statue.
Jerry 7.
Yeah, an abstraction.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, obviously what we want to do is to play up her role in making that garden
Yeah.
happen.
And for her long tenure, her starting the commission, it just seems like a fitting acknowledgement of her. role.
Laying the
So I will
foundation.
suggest that because of the newness of most of the council, that probably they're not real familiar with that. So if the letter could include some of that,
Yes.
I think it would be very helpful.
Essentially
What
laying
I
the
was thinking.
foundation for the city of the arts. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and how, yes.
Plus, when it's time to write the proclamation that goes with it, or the ordinance, then
Oh,
it'll all be
yes,
there.
yes, yes.
Make somebody's life.
We got the whereas parts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we got the whereas.
Exactly.
All right,
We did
That
something
was good.
today.
Yeah, we did something.
Yeah.
it's remarkable.
I do actually have one.
Yes.
New, well, is this the time for?
Yeah, that was what I was just gonna ask.
So for in the deep dive that Eric did and that I briefly participated in about what can be used, how do we use the public art fund?
Yeah,
Number one, there don't seem to be any written rules anywhere. So that,
This is good.
Makes it easier.
it does, but in the deep dive, you all, we found out, are doing things well beyond the scope of the ordinance that created the Arts Commission. It was about physical art. No one's reining you in, let me make sure that, but currently we have a boards and commissions subcommittee working on some things, so we're gonna redraft. And I will bring it to you, redraft a little bit about the ordinance that really actually covers the scope of what you do. It's really a technicality more than anything else.
That's
but-
kind of a good thing when a commission actually exceeds its mission.
Oh, I
isn't
agree.
it? Yeah.
I agree, but we need just in terms of,
No, I get it.
legalities,
I get
we
it.
need to keep up with you.
Well,
I
let's
think
expand
it's
it
Yeah,
because we're like,
exactly.
we're
So
blessed at the
we'll
seams.
create some language in that subcommittee and I'll bring it back to you and you all can
Fabulous.
tinker or approve or whatever.
Well, this is really kind of encouraging, Laura, because I think in a lot of people's minds with the concerns with budget concerns and cuts, it's sort of natural to assume that one of the first things to go in most places would be the arts. And I'm kind of getting the feeling that, you and the city are like, don't want that to happen, and are
No.
working with us. And as of now, I'm having kind of a good feeling.
Well, let's keep that going. Let's work on keeping that going.
Okay, yeah.
So many of the music programs would want him.
That's
to do
right.
that.
Stay happy, Patrick.
Well, I mean, basically, what I see us doing in an official capacity with the city is something parallel to what Webster Arts is doing, which is bringing arts. And statues and sculptures are wonderful and enduring, and also music and exhibitions and fun things that happen, bring the art directly to people in their daily lives. And that to me seems like kind of a logical expansion of our function. And it's good to have a commission, particularly an art commission, where every once in a while you have to grab them and pull them back a little bit. That's a lot better than having a commission where you have to keep lighting fires.
Exactly.
So let's, if your art commission isn't the one that's a little crazy and unpredictable, then I don't think we're doing our job.
All right,
All right.
check.
Should we notify the other non-present members of the commission? I know they'll see the minutes, but it's just sort of a nice thing to make sure they all know we voted to do this at this meeting.
For the, we can let them know about the sculpture, but yeah, that's fine.
So when is it okay for Jerry to know? And not ruin the surprise? I mean,
In some
when does it
ways,
become a matter of public
I mean,
record?
this is.
So how about
recorded.
this? I could probably have a better sense of when it can go on the agenda at our next meeting.
Okay,
So I will report back that.
we'll be mum till then.
Then we'll
Yeah,
know
I mean,
that,
it is
except for the
recorded.
recording.
And it'll be on YouTube later today. So
It'll be all over Facebook.
We'll go,
TikTok,
you can go look and see how many views, how many
Yeah,
views, how many views.
usually the views are coming from inside the building kind of thing. So I don't know that we get like a large following of I don't think this is the part of YouTube that the kids today are hanging out.
That's our goal. We want to be. Okay, so is there anything?
Can I just ask,
else?
we skipped over mural project.
Oh my gosh, we certainly.
So
did. I
the
am
mural
so
project
sorry.
is about the same place as it was last time, I guess, because Marilyn's not here. We are working on a meeting with a foundation to get some funding, a local foundation. And I have a call
But this is
Thursday
no-
morning.
This is no
Thursday
longer
morning.
the trestle. This is something more.
No,
general.
oh, sorry,
Yeah.
this is the one that was Ivory Crocker Park.
Oh.
Yeah. Although I got forwarded an email from Jennifer Conrad that Marilyn had another mural prospect. She didn't raise it, so I don't know. How about if I arrange to have that forwarded on and so who knows, maybe more than one, but I expect probably an update at the next meeting about whether there's some potential foundation funding for Ivory Park.
And that effort is in discussion and collaboration with the neighborhood.
Yes,
Okay.
Northwestern Neighborhood Coalition is part of that.
Yeah.
As is the Alliance for Interracial Dignity, I think, and the Webster School District, because they have
Right,
kids.
yeah.
And actually, I am so sorry. I'm just now looking and realizing I went from summer concert to summer concert and skipped over not only the mural project, but the public art fund update. Which I believe is that we do have access to the public art fund. Eric has sent us.
We do have access to the Public Art Fund, and as I said, there don't seem to be rules, so. I think, and to be honest, now that I think about it, probably if the Public Art Fund could be used for some of the signage too.
How much money is in the public art fund?
Not much.
I want to say 1,700.
That's perfect.
I don't know why I want to say that, so don't count on that.
That's just awesome signs.
And how do we get more money into the public art fund?
So there is a place on the city website with the Arts Commission to make donations. That Scott arranged some things with the parks to have donations for the concert on there. So they have it on their webpage. I don't know if they have it on the signage or not. That you can donate, and there's a place where you put in, it's for this concert,
I
so.
mean, we can make, like for Piano Fest or Baroque, I don't know, does anybody go to see Shakespeare at Forest Park this summer? And they do a huge, like, right before it starts, big sale, like, because of donations and events like this, blah, 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 and here's there's a QR code on everything so that you can donate via that, or they've got people with buckets, so that's always something. It's like,
And do people donate?
I mean, I do. When I sit there, I'm like, okay, well, I'll give, $5 or $10, whatever I've got in my purse. Cause I'm thinking I'm here for free. So what would I be paying for if I was going to the movies?
I think there's a double advantage to this. I know Webster Arts and the commission, we try to do things that don't cost money, that are free to the
Yeah.
public, gifts to the public in terms of the arts. And I think by opening up the opportunities for people to donate, you also open up opportunities for people to feel vested in the art environment, landscape of the city. And even though there will probably never be a huge amount of donations, I mean, you could get to the point where it's steady and somewhat reliable, but that way, I think it's really important that people feel that it belongs to them when they have the opportunity
Yeah,
to.
I mean, it's one of those things when we partner with another group, I think we would just have to ask them, is it okay if we solicit
Right.
donations? Cause I would hate for the.
And most of these
Webster Arts
collaborations
to
are
be-
very easy and
Yeah.
friendly.
I was wondering, is it wrong to, for the Lifetime Achievement in the Arts, suggest that instead of people, a wonderful way to celebrate Dan and Joe would be to give a
I think it's a
contribution.
great
in their
idea.
fund. Because I think to do it in somebody's honor, to mark this occasion.
Well, nobody knows there is a public art fund, including us, as of like 6 weeks ago.
Right.
So, I mean, I think it's a wonderful thing, like the National Trust or, the Public Art Fund. What
So here's the bad news about the deep dive, is that we do not believe, and they're sending to the city attorney to make sure that these are tax deductible donations. So that doesn't mean it's not a great thing and we can't use it as a vehicle. But in the past, we've said they were tax deductible.
Yes.
Certainly for the partnership with events, those donations aren't, because it's not
Did you
something
get
that we own for a public space. But for physical things is what they're trying to figure out, is it still tax?
Well, the Barbary Park certainly did those.
Yeah, and so that, because it's a physical public, I don't remember the legal language, but they sent me a really long email that I'm happy to share with you. But it's something the city owns and continues to use for public benefit over time. It's about federal tax law, to be the bottom line.
I know, there's a deep.
Well, there's no point in arguing about it because there's no logic to it, so.
Now that we know it's federal law.
Right.
Right. Okay, but anyway, we might think of how to do that when we announce the lifetime.
I think that's a great idea.
I would suggest that we tell people that it's tax deductible, and then if we get busted, we get busted.
I didn't hear any of that. I didn't hear any of that.
Well, no, I'm cool with being on the public record. Let's try it.
I think, John, he's gonna end up in the stocks.
But we could get donations for the stocks because.
That's right.
Public benefit, like.
I'm sorry, I'm just playing the role of the guy who's gotta say.
The pies.
Yes.
So that's.
then-
Free Patrick fund.
Then
Okay,
you'll,
Webster, okay, you two, I was kidding.
and then you'll play the role of the guy in the stocks.
Alright.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything else that anyone would like to
No.
bring up? Okay.
Good meeting.
Yeah, good meeting.
Adjourn
So,
items.
so keep an eye out, everybody. The first of the Webster Arts Gazebo Artists Market takes place on August the 20th. That's actually after our next meeting. Put on your calendars now.
So, and they will be every, whatever it works out to be, third Saturday of the month through December, so. Great.
And those have been very well attended in the past.
Yeah. And people, Webster really does embrace
Yeah,
art. Yeah, it's really very much.
I think everybody knows enough art by now. We need.
I know, we're not a wall. so we've
Oh, we
gone
are
to-
too, yeah.
we've Gone to yard.
Yeah.
pictures.
I'm gonna, as soon as they hang everything else, I'm gonna have one space left. So
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah, because the,
It's
because the
wonderful to have
office
you.
is all either Barton Webster or Webster Art.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Oh, I'll hear from you, Jenny, right?
Yes.
Okay.